The simple truth about building wealth is that most people overcomplicate it. They believe they need advanced strategies, perfect timing, or insider knowledge to get ahead financially. So they jump from one idea to another: crypto, stocks, trading, side hustles, always searching for something better. But in reality, one of the most powerful wealth-building tools in Canada is already available to millions of people, and it's extremely simple to use when you understand it properly. It's called the TFSA, the Tax-Free Savings Account. And when you apply one clear, consistent strategy inside it, it can quietly accelerate your wealth in a way most people never experience. Before we dive into the strategy, let's understand something important. Wealth is not created by complexity. Wealth is created by consistency, time, and smart structure. The TFSA gives you all three of these advantages in one place. But only if you use it correctly. A TFSA is often misunderstood because of its name. It sounds like a savings account, something you put money into and forget. But in reality, it is one of the most powerful investment shelters in Canada. Inside a TFSA, any growth you earn, whether from interest, dividends, or capital gains, is completely tax-free. That means if your money grows from $10,000 to $50,000, you keep all of it. No tax deduction. No percentage taken away. Every dollar of growth stays with you. Now think about that for a moment. In most investment accounts, the government takes a portion of your gains. Over time, that reduces the power of compounding. But inside a TFSA, your money compounds without interruption. That difference alone can completely change your financial future. However, here is where most people make a mistake. They treat their TFSA like a temporary parking spot for cash. They deposit money, leave it sitting idle, and feel like they are being responsible. But in reality, they are wasting its true potential. A TFSA is not designed for saving, it is designed for growing. Now let's move into the simple strategy that can accelerate wealth inside a TFSA. It can be summarized in one idea: consistently invest your TFSA into long-term growth assets, reinvest everything, and stay invested for the long term without interruption. It sounds simple, but the simplicity is exactly why it works so well. Let's break it down step by step so you can actually apply it in real life. The first part of the strategy is consistency. Most people think investing is about timing the market. They wait for dips, corrections, or perfect entry points. But successful long-term investors understand something very important: time in the market beats timing the market. When you invest consistently, whether monthly or whenever you get income, you remove emotion from the process. You are no longer guessing or reacting. Instead, you are building a system. Over time, this consistency allows your investments to grow steadily, regardless of short-term market ups and downs. This is important because markets are unpredictable in the short term. They go up, down, and sideways. But over long periods, they tend to grow. So the longer your money stays invested, the more it benefits from that long-term upward trend. The second part of the strategy is choosing the right type of investments inside your TFSA. Since all gains are tax-free, your TFSA becomes the most efficient place to hold growth-focused assets. This can include diversified index funds, ETFs, or strong long-term stocks that represent global or national economies. The key idea here is diversification and long-term growth, not speculation. You are not trying to gamble or chase quick profits. You are trying to let your money grow steadily over years and decades. For example, broad market ETFs that track large indexes allow you to own small pieces of hundreds or even thousands of companies at once. This reduces risk while still giving you exposure to long-term growth. Over time, as companies grow and economies expand, your investments grow with them. And because this growth happens inside a TFSA, you keep all of it. Now let's imagine two people to understand the difference this makes. Person A invests in a regular taxable account. Every year, they earn returns, but a portion is taxed. Over time, those taxes slowly reduce their compounding power. They still grow, but at a reduced rate. Person B invests the same amount inside a TFSA. They earn the same returns, but they pay zero tax on growth. Every dollar continues compounding without reduction. At first, the difference seems small. But after 10, 20, or 30 years, the gap becomes massive. Not because Person B invested more, but because their money was allowed to grow freely without friction. That is the silent advantage of the TFSA. The third part of the strategy is reinvesting everything. This is where compounding truly becomes powerful. When your investments generate dividends or interest, you do not withdraw them. You reinvest them back into your portfolio. This creates a compounding loop. Your money earns returns. Those returns are reinvested. Then those reinvested returns start earning their own returns. Over time, this snowball effect accelerates. This is how small investments turn into large wealth over time. Not through sudden jumps, but through continuous reinvestment. Think of it like planting a tree. At first, it grows slowly. But as it becomes stronger, it produces more branches, more leaves, and eventually more growth each year. Compounding works in exactly the same way. Now let's talk about contribution discipline, which is one of the most underrated parts of building wealth with a TFSA. Every year, you receive new TFSA contribution room. But many people do not fully use it. Some forget. Some delay. Some think they need large amounts to start. But the truth is, consistency matters more than size. Even small monthly contributions build powerful long-term results. The key is to treat your TFSA like a financial priority, not an afterthought. Instead of saving what is left at the end of the month, you invest first and adjust your spending afterward. This simple shift changes everything. It turns investing into a habit instead of a decision you constantly have to make. Another important idea is understanding opportunity cost. Every dollar sitting in cash inside a TFSA is a dollar that is not growing. Over time, this can cost you significant wealth. Cash has a role for safety, but long-term TFSA growth depends on staying invested. Of course, markets will fluctuate. There will be periods of decline. Your investments may go down temporarily. But this is not a reason to stop. In fact, downturns are often part of the long-term growth process. Investors who stay consistent during these periods are usually the ones who benefit the most when markets recover. This is where patience becomes a major advantage. Now let's simplify everything into a mental model that makes this strategy easy to remember. Think of your TFSA as a snowball at the top of a hill. Your contributions are the snow you add to it. Your investments are the surface that allows it to roll smoothly. And time is the downhill slope. At the beginning, the snowball is small. It moves slowly. Growth feels insignificant. But as time passes, the snowball gets larger. It picks up more snow. It moves faster. And eventually, it becomes unstoppable. That is exactly how wealth builds inside a TFSA. The biggest mistake people make is interrupting the process. They withdraw money for non-essential expenses. They stop contributing during uncertain times. Or they leave money sitting idle because they are unsure what the market will do next. Every interruption slows down compounding. And compounding is the engine of long-term wealth. To truly accelerate wealth using a TFSA, you only need 3 core principles working together. First, consistent contributions that you stick to over time. Second, long-term growth investments that allow your money to expand. And third, patience that lets compounding do its job without interference. That's it. No complicated formulas. No constant trading. No emotional decision-making. Now let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Most people think wealth comes from earning more money. While income is important, what you do with your money is even more important. A high income with poor financial habits can still lead to financial stress. But a moderate income with disciplined investing can lead to financial freedom. The TFSA strategy works because it shifts your focus from earning to growing. It teaches you to think long-term instead of short-term. And it rewards patience instead of reaction. Over time, this creates a powerful shift in your financial life. You stop chasing money and start building systems that generate money for you. And that is the real goal of investing, not quick profits, but long-term freedom. So if you apply this simple TFSA strategy consistently, you are not just investing. You are building a future version of yourself that has more options, more security, and more freedom. The key is to start now, even if the amount is small. Because the earlier you start, the more time compounding has to work in your favor. If you take anything away from this, let it be this: wealth is not built through sudden actions. It is built through repeated, Disciplined decisions over long periods of time. Every TFSA contribution is one of those decisions. Every reinvested dollar is one step forward. And every year you stay consistent brings you closer to financial independence. So start simple. Stay consistent. Think long term. And let your TFSA do the heavy lifting. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to start using their TFSA more effectively.